So we're wrapping up the interview. We got the confession, and now there's a few things we still need to do. First, you want to get as much physical evidence from them as you can. So if they have some bank records, if they have something they've taken and stolen that they have in their possession, get that stuff. As fraud examiners, we don't have the right to get a search warrant, right? We can't just go in their house and take stuff. So what we try to do is just get them to provide it to us, like get them to sign something and turn it over. So any physical evidence they have, once you got them confessed and they're working with you and you're being sympathetic with them, say, something like, okay, so now we need to make sure we get everything lined up and get the evidence that shows what happened so we can really put it all together. So, I'm going to need your bank records and, and talk about that and get them working on that for you. You want to get the specifics of each offense. So if they've done something several times, you get each separate time. So usually you can write up a statement for them to sign. So start working through it. Like, when was the first time you did this? Tell me about that, and sign it up. Get it all written up. Then once you have all this information, get them to sign a statement that here's my voluntary confession. Yes, I knew that it was a crime, or yes, I intended to steal this money. Get something that says that they intended to do it on that paper. Approximately, this is what they did. Approximately, this is what they think they stole. How many times? Say something about, like, they're willing to cooperate, and you can frame this as this is going to show that you're willing to cooperate. This way you won't get in so much trouble. Make sure they read it. Make sure there's something that says that it's true, and get them to sign it. Now remember, you're not law enforcement. You're maybe someday you will be, but fraud examiners typically aren't law enforcement. So you want to make sure that you can type it up. You can do whatever you want. You can write it. It doesn't have to be something they write out. Make sure they read it and sign it. It's a good idea to have a witness to the signature, so have some other folks in there. It's not legally required, but it's nice. It goes better. Have one written statement for each offense. You can always go back and add stuff, change stuff. If you find out they did some other stuff too, right? They're confessing, it's like, oh, I also did this other thing. Well, great, get a separate statement for that too. So what we've been talking about was interviews, and that's the most common inquiry method. There are sometimes other methods people use, like think of your lie detector tests, right? Which can be things like pencil and paper tests, multiphasic personality inventory type tests, graphology, how they write and do things, and stress tests and polygraphs. So these are things you and I, unless we go to become experts in that, wouldn't ordinarily do. But there are some techniques that are other than interviewing. Okay, so be aware of that. And of course, once you're done with your inquiry, you write your report. The important thing is to put your findings, conclusions, recommendations, and any corrective actions taken. And keep the tone objective, not your opinions, facts, not your opinions, unbiased, free from distortion. So just the facts, and write it all up, and that's it. You're done with your investigation. Then it's up to somebody else to get the lawyers or the law enforcement involved.